Okay, I've got your attention. Let's have a serious talk about this one thing that I think that if you do it and do it earnestly, it'll change everything about why you teach and what you teach and how you talk about your teaching. And take in mind, you don't have to forget anything you know. Nothing that you've learned to date has to change. This is only meant to enhance the work. And when you try something new, by the way, you can always go back to what you did before. But thinking that you're going to get different results from your work, be more esteemed, or have better marketing tools without taking different action, I don't know. So this is very different action. The whole concept involves moving from a promise-based industry or a promise-based school or a promise-based teacher to an evidence-based school, teacher, what have you. What this requires you to do is, first, as a teacher, when you go out on the floor, you're looking for a certain energy, a certain respect in the classroom, a certain, snap to, and, you've got this in your mind. Well, as you evolve as a teacher, I think you need to let that thing grow, like I'm looking for something beyond that, because doing what we've done for so long and getting students to snap to and do the techniques right, it's hard work, but it's not brain surgery. Once you master that, can you go to the next place and the next place? Well, the ultimate place is when what you practice on the mat manifests itself in the lives of the students you teach. And now, instead of just looking for that great sidekick or the form done properly or that particular kind of movement that you're looking for, you broaden your expectations. You open the window to look for ways that these students are using what they're learning. Is it making their work better? Are they helping others? Does it make their family stronger? Does it help the community? And not just looking for those things, but maybe even suggesting them, maybe even, putting seeds down that cultivate that garden, right? And what you're looking for is evidence, because your marketing, like so many schools, is all about promises. Well, the best thing you've ever done. Just search martial arts websites and you'll see we're all making the same promises, but there are hardly any, if any, martial arts schools that deal in substantive evidence. And I want you to become one of those schools. I want you to learn how to recognize, to cultivate and then recognize how your students are using their martial arts. And I want you to cultivate and find and create and document stories that say, here's what this work is about. Now, it might be the story of a 6-year-old who does something for someone else, or does something in the classroom, or addresses their home life differently, like keeping their room clean, or, whatever it is. You need to create a portfolio of documentation to say, what sets this school apart and all of my education and everything that I do is that I seek to make this work manifest itself in positive ways outside of my dojo and outside of the realm of kicking or punching or choking somebody. Let me show you some examples. Well, those examples go in a very carefully crafted project portfolio. And the project portfolio are the examples of how your students are using their martial arts in very positive ways. Weight loss, improved health, better families, better communities, interesting projects, things that are examples of people who have integrity and courage and perseverance and honor and all these things that we talk about that are basically just promises without the evidence to show it. Now, if you do this evidence-based teaching, if you start creating a portfolio that's a prominent part of your website, you're going to have to look for different things as a teacher. You're going to have to expand on how you talk to your students. And you're going to have to put the pedal to the metal. You're going to have to say, is the work that I'm doing really making a difference? I think it has that potential. I think it has. But now you have to cultivate the storyteller in your work and be able to pull those stories in, take photographs, do video, write a story that represent what sets you apart as a teacher. Now, this changes your marketing. This changes how you talk about your work. This changes the focus of your teaching. This affects the community, potentially, if you're good at it. It's not brain surgery. And I mean, no architect or artist or graphic designer is going to have really great sales of their work without examples in a portfolio that say, here's the medium I work in, and this is the kind of stuff that I create. That's how we decide if we're going to hire them. But you and I have grown up in an industry that was short of trophies in the window and national championships and all that, which are, predominantly the physical aspect. We haven't really been held responsible for what has become a major theme in our sales. We cultivate character, we develop confidence, we teach people to defend themselves. Well, for God's sake, show me the proof and use proof, whether it takes you a month or 6 months or 2 years from now. Develop a habit of learning to tell the stories and look for them and ask your students for them and tell them, hey, this is what I expect. When you join this school, not only do I expect you to get in shape and to become a great martial artist and to be able to achieve these things that may now seem impossible, I expect you to take what we practice on the mat and put it to work in the world. Otherwise, I'm not really doing my job. I mean, kicking and punching on the mat and in tournaments and all that and in the ring, it's very, it's fun, it's exciting, it's challenging. But to use the martial arts for the purpose of developing a better character to positively affect the world, that's the ultimate. And that's what I'm looking for as a teacher. Anything less than that, I might be happy, but I'm certainly not satisfied. I want to see that happen. So show me how that's done. Make it work. Have the courage, have the honor, have the integrity, the perseverance, the self-control. Use it in your life. And I'll use those stories to show the next group of students examples of what they do. And parents might choose our school because we take it to the next level instead of just duplicating what everybody else does. Moving from an promise-based to an evidence-based. It's a simple concept. It requires a retooling of what you do. But to me, I can't think of anything that would be more empowering as a school than to pursue this idea. Call me if you need help, 530-903-0286.